another episode of Shots on Target, episode 11 of Shots on Target with your host, Brad Betts. We're coming in from a different location, but we're still here to analyze all the top matches of the day from the world of football, from the goals scored market. Today's Monday, September 9th, 2024. What's up, Brad Morris? Good to see you. I wanted to first jump into the Nations League, highlight one match today, before we jump over to a really high-performing Israel National League, which we've discussed before, highlight three matches and provide our best bet for today. So let's jump straight into it. Well, Norway is playing Austria today, which is a really interesting matchup. Norway, very attack-heavy. Austria, very solid all around. Norway, very poor defensively. But Norway come in scoring in 25 of their last 32 matches. 28 of their last 35, that's 85%, and they've conceded in 15 of their last 20, which is at 75%. But what we really like is this Austria squad, who comes in scoring in 21 of their last 22 matches, and they've conceded in 25 of their last 32, which is at 78%. They've hit both teams to score in 7 of their last 8 matches, and then when these two play one another, well, they've hit both teams to score in both previous matches in 2020. A bit of a long time ago, so hard to really dictate that those results can tell us a good guide of what happens today. Why this isn't a best bet, it's a great look, but why isn't it a best bet is because when I watched Norway last time out against Kazakhstan, they didn't really look that great. A bit disjointed. Yes, they're attack heavy, a three-headed monster with Haaland, Schorloth, and Odegaard, but through the base of the midfield and the back line, just not really something that we love. So I do see Austria potentially getting a result in this match. I also see both teams possibly being able to score, most likely being able to score with that three-headed monster. You expect that those three will be able to find the net at least once, especially with this porous record that Austria comes in with. 25 of their last 32, not necessarily great defensively. So BTTS, I think, should be a solid look. So follow that game live, see how Norway is on the attacking end, and if they look like they're putting the ball to one another and getting in compromising positions, BTTS would be a phenomenal look in this game. Now let's hop over to Israel, because I want to highlight this league significantly. As we've seen in previous weeks, Israel comes in scoring BTTS in 16 of their last 19 matches. That's insane. They've hit over 2.5 in 13 of their last 19, and they've hit over 1.5 in 18 of the 19 matches to start the season. Well, Hapoel Ra'anana scored in 17 of their 18, and they've conceded in 15 of their 16. They've hit over 2.5 in 6 of 7. They're taking on a Hapoel Al-Fan, who scored in 8 of their 10, conceded in 10 straight, and over 2.5 in 7 straight. And both teams are scoring over 2.5 goals hit in 3 of the 4 previous matches against one another. Looks like teams are scoring, teams are conceding. These two, same exact scenario as the rest. So with this match, I do see goals, but I want to take a different angle with this league. So let's jump into match number 2. B'nai Yehuda Tel Aviv scored in 20 of their last 24 and conceded in 11 of their last 13. Maccabi Herzliya has scored in 26 of their last 33 and conceded in 11 straight. They've hit both teams to score in both previous matches against one another and over 2.5 goals in 3 straight. So the matchup history is coming in. Both teams are scoring and conceding regularly. Looks like 3 goals on all fronts. And then you have Maccabi Cabildo Haifa, who scored in 17 of their last 18 and conceded in 14 straight. They're taking on a Hapoel 16 of their last 20 and conceded in 9 of their last 11. And they've hit both teams to score in over 2.5 goals in 3 of their last 4 matches. So why did we give you all these stats for all 3 games and not tell you a play of the day? Well, that's because we're looking at this league holistically today. I think that because 18 of 19 matches have hit over 1.5, and all 3 matches have goals written all over it on both ends, I think the safest way that we can play today's play of the day is taking a parlay of all 3 matches over 1.5 goals. So that's 2 goals in the match, which has happened again in 18 of the last 19 matches in this league. And if you parlay all 3 of those matches together, That gives you a really clean line at minus 105. So today's play of the day, thank you, Chris Floyd, for locking in my bet for me while I'm out of town for one last day. But today's play of the day is that 2-goal parlay. So over 1.5 in all 3 matches in today's Israel Leumit League or National League, depending on what your book says. There's only 3 matches, so it's all 3 matches today. You parlay all 3 of those together again, over 1.5 at minus 105. That's going to be today's play of the day. There's a number of other looks, but I just couldn't get there. So we're going to stick with this really high-performing Israel League and ride it into the ground. Rick, it was good to see you as well. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We're going to keep things extra short and sweet while we're on international break, highlight a few matches, but as these matches go on, be mindful and pay attention because there's a lot of opportunities in this league, especially with how they're performing lately. Again, thanks again for coming back to episode 11 of Shots on Target with your host, Brad Betts, where we analyze the world of football, all the top matches of the day throughout the world. Again, today is Monday, September 9th, 2024, and we're going to be back from home base tomorrow morning to look at a few more matches for Tuesday's episode. Brad Morris, I appreciate you guys again, so thank you so much for being here, and again, we'll drop in tomorrow.